Welcome to Snail Trail 4x4. I'm Jimmy Jett. Today we're installing a Total Chaos bed stiffener into the second Gen Tacoma. So why do you want a bed stiffener? Bed stiffeners have two major advantages. One, they're going to hold the bed nice and taut and straight if you're putting heavy loads like a rooftop tent or anything on top. Also, if you're mobbing through the desert and your body's wiggling around, your bed is too, and you could have a lot of movement in that bed because these beds are composite. They're a piece of plastic, really. So you don't want to bend them, you want to hold them still, and that's when you're going to add these bed stiffeners. I chose this one. It's from Total Chaos. The reason I chose it is it's because it's US patented, US made, and it also has this big extension here up at the top where most bed stiffeners end here. They go above and beyond and add a little bit more rigidity up high where the bed kind of curves up and around. So here's the tools I used to install the other side. Here's the finished product, what it's going to look like. Isn't it beautiful? So I just had a ratchet here, an extension, a 5/8, a half, and a 10 millimeter, a 1/2 inch box end wrench, a T40 and a T55 torque spits, also a drill with a 5/16 drill bit. So we're going to pop this bolt out right here on the top. We're just going to use that 10, and then we're going to pull that out. Set that aside. I like to keep these separate. We're going to pull off a few more here. We're also going to pull off the top one here and the bottom one on this side. These are going to release your light. So using the T55 now, we're going to loosen this guy out of here. It's super tight, so just give it some good muscle. There it goes. And then the other one, the T40, is for the black one with the hook. So when you pull this black one off with the hook right here, there's all these washers and a plastic washer in there. You need to make sure that you keep the order of these because we're going to reuse those. So don't mess the order up. All right, so it goes the plastic flat washer, a skinny flat washer, the crush washer, and then a big thick washer there as a spacer. Now you don't need to use this hook again. You can set it aside. Let's pull this big one all the way out. You're going to reuse this hardware, so make sure you're keeping it. So here is the 7/16 bolt. It's provided. What we're going to do is we're going to stick that through this closer hole here on the bottom. Oh, if you're curious on which way to actually put these in, the part that's sticking out and perpendicular to the bed side is going to go closest to your cab. So you're going to be putting it in this direction here. So once again, the 7/16 bolt, we're going to stick that through, and then all of this hardware we're just going to reassemble back in the same exact order that we took it off. I'm going to add a little bit of blue Loctite on there just to make sure that everything stays in. And then we're going to line that up with the hole and slide it back into place. Now we have the big bolt, the T55 bolt we took off. We're going to put some blue Loctite on that as well. And we're going to slide that into place. All right, let's suck these things down a little ways. 5/8 bit. Here's where I found that an extension came in really handy. And we can suck this guy down as well. There we go. Just nice and easy on those. And now that pulls down on this, so we can just slide this upper bolt in fairly easily. This is a 10 millimeter again. Make sure you grab the 10 millimeter, not the 1/2 inch. Now we can tighten those down. Just be very careful to tighten this top one down. It's not super strong. It's just into some light metal. There we go. Now you may be asking why we popped these other two bolts out. That's because we got to pull this tail light off, and you can do that just by simply pulling it out gently. There you go. Just has two little tabs right here that pop into some plastic ones, so you can leave that fully connected, just let it dangle there at the side. Now what we're going to do is take that 5/16 drill bit, and there are 3 holes here on the side, and we're going to drill through those 3 holes and add some more bolts. All right, using the 5/16 drill bit, we're popping these holes. Make sure you have your eye protection on. All right, so using the provided hardware, these are the 5/16 bolts. We're going to be sticking those through this side, and then it has a washer. Well, with a washer on this side, but it also has a washer and a lock nut on the back side that we're going to be putting through. This top one's a little difficult because there is a bar right there, so you have to kind of reach your hand up behind it or from the top side and come down over the top. And then using the 1/2 inch box end, we'll just stick that over the top, and then the 1/2 inch bit on this end, we'll just zip these closed. Last little steps here, we're just going to double check everything's nice and tight. I'm going to do that by hand. No real tech specs on this, just make it snug. All right, last thing, all we do is snap this back in, making sure that you're lining up these little plugs that go into the holes. So just line that up where they came out of, and then just give it a good little push, and everything lines up. So just very gently slide these in, make sure that they're not cross-threading, and then tighten these up. But be gentle tightening them up because you're just tightening into plastic and you don't want to strip that plastic out. There you go, about 30 to 40 minutes and you're done, and your bedside stiffeners are installed. I'm super happy with the outcome of these. Everything lined up well. Total Chaos has a great kit. So if you're looking for this kit here, I'll put a link down in the description below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, keep crawling.